Welcome to episode 30 of the No Scrubs podcast. I'm your host, Lewis, and joined with me today, a man who was not inspired by Shia LaBeouf's recent antics. Stephen, how you going?
What did he do?
Oh, it was like he got really drunk at Mardi Gras and got himself in a bit of a situation, and I just saw the Nike and I thought, just do it. Our boy Peter had that as his fucking alarm, and his girlfriend, well now wife, was like, you have to change that. He'd wake up to Shia LaBeouf yelling at him, just do it. Yesterday you said tomorrow. He's like, yeah, bro, it's real motivating. It really gets you up and ready for the day. I was like, no, that's no way to fucking wake up, bro.
I'm
no
thinking of, mate, adding another because reason why I wear the hat is because I'm always coming back to the gym like real sweaty, and like I look yuck, so this sort of and my hair's a mess, so I'm thinking maybe adding a kick hat to my repertoire.
I don't know, mate, you might be looking pretty piss yuck at that point.
Piss yuck. No, dude, maybe it's just a simple hat that just says in like small right and just piss.
Yeah, imagine if you wore a hat, Stephen, that somewhere on it said cunt crusher.
Oh, funny that.
And then you'll get asked to take it off in the mall.
I remember one time showing up to work and I had my hat on and I was just like, just sitting at the table waiting for my shift to start, and I was just like, obviously wearing it backwards like a fucking dork. And I was just on my phone. I just hear this person go past, go, cunt crusher. And I was just like, oh, fuck!
That would have been a better intro, like a man who crushes cunt. Oh, God. Look, we don't get enough views to be monetized, but if we did, this would be demonetized immediately.
Immediately.
We're broken the rules. I think they were changing something about it, but who knows?
Actually, one more hat idea. Just a nice 5-panel that just says in small writing, damp.
Just damp.
Not
even moist.
Just damp.
Dude, Alex's friend who you've met, Grace, she had like a hat themed party up in Wellington. So we went up there, and I brought an assortment of AliExpress hats, but the fan favorite was, I found one of those little propeller hats.
Yes.
And dude, everyone wanted to fucking spin it. I'm like, mate, your first spin's free.
Yeah. And then they go for a second one, you grab their wrist, and I was just like, don't.
Don't you do it. Yeah, everybody loved the propeller hat because it's just such like the cliche nerd hat from like 80s films. Like, no one ever wore those hats. Why was this thing like, we need a way so people recognize this guy as being nerdy, so we've got to give him braces or big front teeth. You got to give them monobrow, thick brimmed glasses, and a propeller hat and suspenders. Like, now everyone will know this guy's an intellectual powerhouse.
This guy knows all the scientific terms of what a vagina contains, but he's never smelt one and he's never felt one.
Never tasted, for the record, either. He's never used any of his senses on one. He's never heard one.
Pushes up the glasses and be like, actually,
I watched an informative video on a
the
platform
clitoris
that's going to be released in 25 years called YouTube.
Actually, the clitoris does exist. I just haven't found it yet.
You and me both, brother. So we've got a lot of news. I actually reshuffled this episode a little bit because I think this one should probably be first, because it is the biggest one. I originally had it last, and I'm like, nah, it's too big to. So there's been some big leadership changes at Xbox. So rest in peace, Xbox. Long live Microsoft Gaming Pro. Right? Long live. Oh, I love those little typos. Yeah. So I think that this is the whole. I think like, so Phil Spencer has retired, but I think it was he was kind of pushed out. I think it was they do that for someone who's been there a long time, because he's been there for 38 years at Microsoft, right? So I think it was they came to him saying, look, we're shaking things up, so we're gonna kind of give you the option of you retire now, or we are just gonna shit can you. I think, you know, and I think that's what happened. So I think this is Microsoft now being like, we're gonna instate more Microsoft people, not just like, because there's clearly been a different culture between Microsoft and Xbox, and they've been run fairly separately. But since the Activision Blizzard King deal, seems like things have changed. This is the biggest acquisition and purchase Microsoft has ever made, because it was, you know, nearly $70 billion. And I think now they're like, we want more of our own people. And yes, Phil Spencer's been there 38 years, but 12 years at the head of Xbox. But yes, I think they're trying to put their own people in there so Microsoft themselves can run it as a Microsoft company instead of Xbox as a separate entity. So, yeah, so yes, so he was there 12 years as the head of Xbox and CEO of Microsoft Gaming, and he's no longer going to be there. And it's not just him either. He also inherited a really shitty version of Xbox. He started when the Xbox One was coming out, and they had Don Mattrick, who I'm pretty sure Don Mattrick went on to things like Stadia and other ships that ended up sinking almost immediately. Who knows if it was him, or who knows if he just kept joining shitty projects, but yeah, he was the one that said, because they were like, the new Xbox is going to be always online, and you're not going to have, it's going to be all digital and stuff, which, look, it's all kind of heading there anyway now, but they're way too early to that. And they're like, if you want to play something offline, we have something for you. It's called Xbox 360. And I think he single-handedly, like, completely killed this fucking... His approach to all of the stuff completely killed all the momentum they made in the Xbox 360 generation. So Phil Spencer had to inherit that. I like a lot of what Phil Spencer did, but it just feels like the last while it hasn't been him in charge, really. I think it's been going over... They've been going over his head.
What was the Don guy? What was his last name?
Don Mattrick? I
was just like, wasn't that the Domino's Pizza guys? Oh no, that's Don Medge. Never mind.
He's been the head of a bunch of companies. Let's see, Zynga, the mobile one company. Oh, maybe I got that wrong about Stadia. It might not. There was someone else that kept hopping around companies and just was Stadia and so on. So it might not have been him. So I'm sorry, Don Mattrick. I take that back. That's slander. But you did kind of fuck shit up for future people. So so he was at EA before that. Okay. So he'd been around, but not the Stadia slander. I mixed that up.
Or the Domino's slander.
Shout out Domino's Pizza, am I right?
Yeah, shout out Domino's. There was a point in time where they real sucked and tried to find their identity, just putting out just offensive ideas for like desserts and sides, but they hit their stride. Cheeseburger pizza will always have a place in my heart.
I think it was Domino's that they had a thing for years where because they had a really bad reputation, and they're like, yeah, we know we suck. We're trying to make it right, and that was kind of what they ran on, I think, for years. And I think they've kind of gone back to being all right. I don't really dabble too often, but yeah, Domino's. But yeah, I mean, I think like as much as I think cloud gaming has a place in the future, it's just not really something we want at the moment. I think that was under Phil Spencer. A lot of that they've done a push towards PC stuff, which I'm a fan of. I think maybe this whole no exclusivity for their games probably does more harm than good, I think, going forwards. But I don't know if that was him or if that was the Microsoft side. But yeah, I'm going to be sad to see him go, because he's he is also a gamer himself. Man loves playing Destiny. He's put some fucking hours in. Loves the Diablo. I think that having someone who plays games, I think, can help. Like, yes, there's obviously a business side to it as well, and I think as a CEO, you're probably rather a business person, which he is as well. But I think that having someone who actually plays games was nice. Like, when we had, what was his name? Do you remember he was the CEO of PlayStation until recently? Jim Ryan. That guy's just he was a marketing guy. And you could tell, like, all of his answers were always like, what are you playing? And he's like, I'm playing the latest offering we have on PlayStation. I'm playing Returnal. Like, it was like, you ain't playing shit, bro. You ain't playing fucking shit. We haven't had someone at Nintendo like that in a long time as well. We had Reggie Fils-Aimé, who was clearly like, he's like, I've been playing Animal Crossing New Leaf on my Nintendo 3DS. That guy was, a casual gamer, but he gamed.
His body was ready.
He played Smash with Hungrybox, the Smash Bros player, the Melee player. He really did, he dabbled a bit. And I know it's not the most important thing, it's how good they are with the business. But I like having these people that actually dip their toes in a bit, right? And I'll get to that with the new CEO shortly, because we've got one other person leaving. We've got Sarah Bond, who she was the president and COO of Xbox, and she's resigned as well. Yeah, she was the coup. Yeah. Oh, so there's a wild thing that was happening. So Sarah Bond is black, and so she was the president and CEO, and this Asha Sharma is the new CEO of Xbox and Microsoft Gaming. Right? People on Twitter thought they were the same person. Sarah Bond is stepping down. People were like, oh, she couldn't even last 2 days. Oh, as a CEO, and it's like, these are different women. Oh my god, they're not even the same. They're not even the same race. What are we doing? They're just women with brown skin. The people are like, they're the same. It's like, no, they're not, bro. Oh, I couldn't believe. I think some people were doing that jokingly, but a lot of people were doing that unironically. I could not believe it, bro. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was. Gamers are like the least informed people and complain the most. I say as I was wrong about Don Matrick earlier. I was also informed. But I found that kind of funny. But yeah, she's resigned as well, and she's been there a long time. So I believe she was actually big with the cloud gaming efforts as well. Subscription growth, which a lot of people are probably not. We're not a big fan of that, and hardware lineup. So she's gonna support through this transition period. But these are people who've been there a long time that are leaving. So it must
old
be
heads, legacy employees.
Yeah, I do think it is a get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And then the new leadership team we've got. I'm just gonna say Asha. I'm not a cultured man. Asha Sharma, so the new CEO. And the thing that I don't like about her joining is that she comes from Microsoft's core AI division. So she had experience in technology leadership from roles at Instacart and Meta. So Meta could be, it sounds like it wasn't the gaming division of Meta though, before returning to Microsoft. So she was at Microsoft previously, then she went over Instacart, Meta, and then come back. And she's outlined priorities like recommitting to great games, focusing on return of Xbox's core console identity, and shaping the future of play with creativity at the center. That's kind of corporate speak.
What does that even mean, though?
It is just corporate speak. And look, I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt and just say, let's see how things go, because the thing is with games and this kind of stuff, it takes a long time for anything to really come out or be produced, or there's always a long road to any of this stuff. So I need to put a reminder of when the dates of when I've said this, because like next week I'll be like, she's shit. But I reckon you get kind of 2 years, and some people it sounds like an eternity. But if if things are not any better at Xbox in 2 years, if things are considerably worse, I think you get the scrutiny at that point, right? Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, but it would be funny if next pod you'd be like, she couldn't even last 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah, I just completely become one of those Twitter warriors immediately. Yep, that would be pretty funny. So, look, as much as we're not complete anti-AI people, that's not someone I want to be at the helm of Xbox, personally. I think that, sure, maybe she be promoting the tools. I don't want someone who's like, yes, make AI everything, and then Xbox just puts out slop, and then we're just like, that fucking sucks.
Speaking of that, I remember seeing, having to use the cringe Reddit at work because it's like one of the only apps I can use that has like a not safe for work filter, blurred image. But someone had like a picture of a Street Fighter character, and it was obviously AI, and like there were back-to-back comments where it's just like, this costs like X amount to run, money to run. It's like generating these silly little images is the reason why we're getting priced out of buying PCs. Do you care about the environment? I was just like, oh, well, fuck up. It was just a meme. Like, yeah. I get it, but like, hey.
Yeah, you get a bit of that, don't you? It's just someone makes one AI image and is like, "You're the reason why RAM's expensive," and you're like,
"No, I'm not. I didn't make this. I didn't make this image. I stole it from somebody else."
Yeah, absolutely.
There are zero returns on this image.
Absolutely. It's yeah. I like I say, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I want to see what she's going to do. People though were talking about it's like because it's like, oh, she's got 10,000 gamer score on her Xbox, Xbox account. So she's a gamer. And people were looking at it as like she only has any playtime on any of these games in the last year. So she's pretty new to it. And people are like, a lot of these are just ones to get easy achievements to almost bump them up. I'm like, well, yeah, maybe there's a bit of that, but we don't know if she was playing on other platforms previously or what, And she had said like what her 3 favorite games were, and this would be fucking handy if you actually put it in your article, you fucking dogs. Oh my god. Fuck you, Vice. I was like, what are her 3 favorite games? I found the article. I'm like, cool, I'll skim over that. Vice was like, no. I should have been more organised with it. So she said Halo, Valheim, and GoldenEye. And then some people were like, GoldenEye, she wouldn't have played GoldenEye. That would have come out when she was 3 years old. And then I saw people like Palmer Luckey, who was the old Oculus. He's the founder of the Oculus Rift and worked for Meta, who now makes weapons and missiles. He was talking about, he's like, Chrono Trigger's my favourite game of all time, and I was 3 when it came out. So it's like, this logic doesn't stack. Like, you can't be a fan of this thing because it came out when you were 3 years old or before you were born. Yeah, that doesn't really track. It's like, you can't be a fan of this movie because it came out before you were born. And you're like, bro, Terminator 2 fucking rules, alright? I don't give a fuck what you tell me. I gotta see what year Terminator 2 came out. Yeah, 1991 came out a year before I was born, and I was like, that's the best action film of all time. That's my fucking goat.
Yeah.
But I can't be a fan of it because I was -1.
It's just like...
I think that's a weak argument.
You can almost say it's just like, your favourite game was X, and it came out, at a time where you were heavily unemployed. It's like, how would you play that? You were poor!
Yes. I knew your bank account balance. How dare you? Yeah. So yeah, so her favorite games anyway? Like people were also being like, "Oh, the only Halo that she has." I mean, of course, Halo's a very safe answer as someone who's the head of Xbox, right? But like, oh, I like Halo. What are we known for? Halo. You know, very very safe. But Valheim, sure. GoldenEye, okay. You know, there was also a Nintendo 64 game. Yes, it's made by Rare, who they own now, but definitely some variety. So yeah, I actually think Halo Infinite was really good, to be honest. So fuck the haters, I enjoyed it a lot. It was like, man, this is like if Far Cry was fun still.
Yeah.
No, I actually don't dislike Far Cry, but I just got a bit bored of it. So we'll see how she goes. We'll give her the benefit of the doubt, but I'm going to be honest, I don't think things for the Xbox are going to get better, but we will see. And the next one was Matt Booty.
Great name.
That's a real person. Was promoted to Chief Content Officer. So he's been there a long time. He was previously the head of Xbox Game Studios. Been promoted to Executive Vice President and Chief Content Officer. A lot of people are like, bro, this guy should be fucking gone. But who knows? So he's responsible for seeing Microsoft's extensive portfolio of over 40 studios, including Bethesda, Activision, Blizzard, and King. Why just those ones? Why didn't you said the Activision ones, Bethesda, and that, you're like, that's it. So I mean, I think a lot of the stuff's been poorly managed. I mean, under Microsoft, we got the worst Call of Duty we've had in probably 10 years. Overwatch is making a comeback, so that one's a surprise, which I think is good. I haven't booted it up yet. I actually do still want to, but we got Starfield, which is probably the worst received Bethesda game under this banner. So I don't know if he's the best person to promote, to be quite honest, but we will see what happens with Matthew Booty.
I do like the idea of at the office, like nobody calls him by his name properly. Everyone just calls him Matt Ass, Matt Cheeks, Matt Bottom,
Matt Butt,
Matt Butt. Yeah.
Oh, and then it's just like Matty Cake.
Matty Cake. And then he just has like an aneurysm. It's like, it's Booty.
It's just an unfortunate name. It's like,
oh no, it's a fortunate name, I would say. Imagine if nicknames you get called like Booty Man.
Yeah, imagine someone calling you that as a nickname. Unbelievable.
Oh.
Yeah, so we will see what happens with these changes. I imagine that Phil Spencer will have a non disparagement clause and all of that kind of stuff and an NDA, and I wonder for how long, because it's often like 5 years. So in 5 years' time, I want to hear him be like, yeah, those last 2 years I wasn't making decisions, or maybe he comes out years later and goes, yes, they were actually all my decisions, and yeah, maybe they just weren't the best. I don't know. I'd like to know, because
I like the idea of as soon as like the minute that NDA expires, he's just on X.
He's like, Xbox is gay.
Yeah, something.
And all the gamers that couldn't tell the difference between an Indian and black woman are like, oh no, we love this brand, we can't be seen as being gay. No, in my simple mind, that's the worst thing you could be. No, no, I'm not that. No, please. I don't celebrate Pride Month. No. Oh god. I don't know, man. Just fucking. I don't know what this show is anymore, right? I don't know what I'm doing. We're just talking fucking trash. No, it's fun. So, yes, I hope that things work out for Microsoft, because when things don't work out for, Xbox as a brand, Sony takes the fucking piss. So, we need a competitive third player in the console space, and maybe it'll end up being Valve. Right now, for all things happening, which we'll get to soon, probably not. So great news for all you cat lovers out there. Mugenics has sold over 1 million copies. So it's absolutely massive for an indie game made by 2 people, really, with a little bit of outsourcing for things like music by, I think it's Ridiculon, I think they're called. Dude, that fucking Eating Rats, that fucking song, that is so fucking good. That song is stuck in my fucking head constantly. I'm always thinking about that song. Yeah, it is Ridiculon. Yeah, and it is such a banger. It's unreal. And they're talking about it's like, man, we'd love this played at like the Game Awards, and then Jeff Keighley's posting the fucking eyes emoji. You're like, oh, please do, bro, please do. So yeah, 1 million copies for an indie game made by essentially 2 people. Fucking incredible. So good. Yeah. Big fan of this game, and I've got so much more to do in it. Speaking of selling a heap of copies, Arc Raiders has sold 14 million units and it's had a peak of 960,000 players, which is a massive success for a young studio. That's fucking huge. Who would have seen it coming?
Dang. Do you still jump on?
It is a game that I'm hoping still one of my friends will buy it, and then I will jump on again, because it'd be much, much better socially. Yeah, that's their second game. It's their second game ever. They did the finals in 2023, then Arc Raiders in 2025. So, pretty fucking crazy, man. And they're in Sweden. They've got 350 employees, so growing steadily. But a lot of people won't like that that they have a lot of AI kind of tech that powers a lot of their stuff. Not to just build the game, but just, I don't know. Their parent company is Nexon.
Huh. The Korean company that does like MapleStory.
Yeah, I didn't realize though that South Korean and Japanese owned. I thought they were just South Korean as well.
Same.
That makes sense though. Like they invested in because there's talented developers all over the world, right? And they were like, we want to invest in a studio in Sweden. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Good shit. So hopefully they can keep it all going with the successful games as well and updates to Arc Raiders. That's awesome. Diablo 2 Resurrected. So this is the remaster or remake of Diablo 2. Has added some DLC. Crazy. There's a 26-year-old game. Obviously not the remaster, but in general. So Reign of the Warlock adds the Warlock class, some new endgame content, and some quality of life changes. And it got me thinking, Stephen. What's an old game that you want DLC for? What's something that you would be like, I would love just a wee shot in the arm? I've got one that's not that old, but I would like another Binding of Isaac expansion because the game's just so fucking good. That'd be a lot of fun. But otherwise, I'd be going for Dark Souls 3. I would love a fucking Dark Souls 3 expansion. Like I've often been playing Dark Souls 3 mods. They just add a bunch more content. I think that'd be cool. And look, it's a 10-year-old game now. Not that old, but that'd be fucking awesome to go 10 years later, here's a DLC. They wouldn't, because they're moving on to other things.
Damn, nothing's really coming to mind. It is one of those situations where people are like, oh, you play games, what do you play? What do you like? I'm like, oh.
Weep shit and Street Fighter.
Yeah.
That's alright, mate. Happens to the best of us. Dude, Portal 2. I'd love another fucking Portal 2 expansion. Well, I say another. It didn't have any expansions, but something like that. I mean, a Portal 3 would be probably better at this point.
Had a yarn with one of my mates because when he was down in Christchurch, he was contemplating either buying a brand new gaming laptop or like a Steam Deck, just because when we weren't hanging out, he just wanted to thrash the Diablo 2 remaster.
Oh yeah.
And I wonder what... I reckon the reason why they're adding DLC to this 26-year-old game is a lot of old heads love it, and apparently they just try to simplify it or change the formula, stray too much from 2 when they did 3, and then we did 4. She was saying, it's like, Diablo 3 is like, I love 2. I'm going to dabble 3. And he's just like, something's not right about this. It feels a little bit kiddified or simplified. Maybe to get new players in. And he's just like, there's something off about it. And then Diablo 4 came out and he's like, I fucking hate this game. And he went back to just playing Diablo 2. So I wonder if that's because, they've changed course and it's like, well, how about we know that a bunch of old heads still play Diablo 2, so let's give them something nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as well it was the best Diablo game ultimately, right?
And because I think the only other alternative is probably Path of Exile, but that's quite intricate and you need to have like a Excel spreadsheet of a build in mind.
Yeah, I liked that little bit of Path of Exile I played, and as soon as I got to that skill tree and then zoomed out and zoomed out and zoomed out and I saw the whole fucking thing for what it was, I was like, I can't play this fucking game. I got so much fucking anxiety looking at the skill tree, and I never picked it up again. I just like too much.
It's funny you should say that because I remember when we were first like becoming mates, I loved my Street Fighter and stuff. He was like, no, everyone's got like a small amount of moves. And I was just like, yeah, but Tekken has a bunch of moves. You're not going to be able to memorize every one. You're like, sport for choice, mate.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Like, yeah, I like Guile because he's in Street Fighter 2 because he's got 2 moves.
2 moves.
Yeah, there's too many, bro. I can't remember all those inputs. Yeah, but yeah, that is the thing with Tekken though. Like, you go from like older ones, you're like, oh yeah, there's 60 moves, that's absurd, and then you go to new ones, you're like, why do I have 130 fucking moves? What do you mean, bro? There's 4 buttons. There's 4 fucking buttons.
I couldn't tell. I can't remember if it was they did it in 3. 3 started the trend where it's like, you play like Hwoarang or someone. It's just like, here's his base moves, and it's like and then there's another like paragraph for his stances. And when I read that people have like a different paragraph of moves, it's like in a stance, it's like, nah.
Yeah. It becomes too much, eh? You're like, bro, I can't remember all that. I'm a simple man. So I've got a list here I thought was interesting. So it's how many games have been released on Steam and, X kind of year, right? So 2006, 70 games, 2007, 135 games, and what's interesting is it actually increases a little bit. So you got 242, then 380. You're like, damn, that's a big year. 2009, then 275, 281, and then it just ramps the fuck up. 302, 436, 1,713, and it goes up by over 1,000 every year, pretty much from there, right? So I'll do the last 5 years, right? 2021, 11,241. 2022. 12,278. 2023, 14,078. 2024, 18,510. We jumped up 4,500 games more, within a year. And in 2025, 20,023 games. Over 20,000 games released on Steam. Currently, there's 120,690 games. Steam. There'll be even more than that now. That's fucking absurd.
I like to think that re-releases and horny games do a little bit of the padding. Like the ones that you can just bang out real quick.
Yeah, hey, I see what you did there. And there are a heap of games that there is a heap of slop that releases on Steam, but I've found it just doesn't negatively impact the storefront as much. Like, there is something about the way that Steam curates lists for you, and you can very easily go top sellers and just see what are the best selling games, specials, trending, things like that. I think is really, really good about Steam that the other platforms don't. On PlayStation, it's like, look at new games, and then you're just going to get a list of achievement farming games, trophy farming games, because PlayStation is like jumping sushi and that kind of slop, right? But Steam, I barely see that kind of shit. If I look at new and trending, yes, there is married woman next door. Cream pie sex beside her husband. There is stuff like that, but most of the other stuff looks good. Is that the most reviewed out of these front page? No, it's not. Okay, thank God. There is some hope. Well, do you remember the one from yesterday, Stephen? Oh, no, you logged off real quick. Oh, we were joking about a game we saw yesterday.
Cream pie beside my husband.
Stephen was like, I gotta go spend some virtual time with my girlfriend. And we're like, no, Stephen, no, we've got to talk about these Guna games. He's like, no, I'm too cool for you guys. That's what he said word for word.
No, they're like, all right, mate. So I was just like, yeah, the mini wants to play some friend slot before bed. I was like, oh, all right, and to be fair, it's a friend slot game I enjoy. So, but cream pie beside my wife.
You prefer friends with benefit slop? I can't find the game from yesterday. It was truly absurd, but yeah. So there's so many of those fucking Guna games on there though, it's unreal. But I barely see them. I see them like when they release because it's like new and popular, and then the next day it'll be gone, and I never see it again.
I always think it's like, is my like Steam algorithm fucked, because like the front page there's always a horny game. It's like, no, those are the new release games.
I swear there's always one as well. I swear there's not 4 or 5. It's like, here's some normal ass games, one hentai game like every time. I used to have it blocked because I was just like, I don't want to see this shit. And then over time I was like, it's so funny. It's just so funny, like, oh man. That's something I do love about Steam, though. It is like, it is the only libertarian kind of platform. It's just like, yeah, we just put on whatever games. We allow just about anything. There are, some things they don't allow, which is good. And it's like, we'll just let the market speak for itself, and it seems to be the cream rises to the top just about every fucking time on Steam. I love that.
Though with the horny games, especially like new releases, they're a little bit hit and miss on censorship. Like, sometimes you'll float over and it'll just have, like, the screenshots are just great.
Yeah.
But then there'll be one time your hand, like, mouse slips over one. It's just like, oh, fat dicks. It's like, why is that not censored?
Yeah, you hear Steven saying, yeah, your mouse just slips over it. I wasn't trying to look at it. I wasn't trying to have a peek. Oh, no, they've hit me with the fat dicks by accident. Oh, wish list.
No, because most of the games are like $5.
Yeah. Oh god. But yeah, I still think 20,000 games a year is fucking too many. But at the same time, the cream rises to the top. I don't know, man. Steam's just
the cream pie's next to the husband.
You know the old saying.
Hey, you've related, but have you seen like at least the first episode of the latest season of King of the Hill, or the reboot?
No, I haven't.
So they come across a because Bill's gone into like a horrible
spoilers for King of the Hill.
Damn, never mind.
Go on.
No, Bill goes into a horrible depression when Hank gets Hank comes back and he's like morbidly obese in bed. He's just like, what have you been up to? It's like, oh, I finished Netflix. There's going to be some like poor sod is going to be like, I have completed Steam.
Yeah. It's funny to think about, like, nobody at 20,000 games a year, if you dedicated your entire life to just be like, I'm going to finish every Steam game, you could not do it. They're coming out far too fast. You would, not in your wildest dreams, you could do it now. Even if right now, if they never put out another Steam game again, you're not going to finish all 120,000 games in your lifetime.
And if you did, you should be recognized globally as being Steam powered.
You become legally a Steam machine.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then you die of dehydration.
Well, everybody knows you do your best gaming when you're a little dehydrated, so it checks out. Solid Snake's coming to Rainbow Six Siege. So I thought this was cool. Him and Sam Fisher are both in it, which are... I mean, Solid Snake like is way above here, and then Sam Fisher's like down here as stealth mascots, but they're still probably the two biggest ones. Really. Yeah. You know, when you think about it, they're the two biggest like stealth game franchises, I would say. You know, there's been other ones that have come and gone over the years. I mean, Splinter Cell hasn't been truly relevant for a long time, like in terms of putting out games, but Sam Fisher still, you know, that name still means something. Splinter Cell still means something, even if Ubisoft do fuck all with it and cancelled that VR game and cancelled that remake and like to just throw Sam Fisher into things and not put out Splinter Cell games.
Plus,
I think it's really cool that they're both in Rainbow Six Siege as operators now. So,
it makes more sense having Solid Snake and Rainbow Six than Smash.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And I know technically Metal Gear, the originals, was on Nintendo platforms and not, you know, but before Metal Gear Solid. I know that's technically where he started, but it's not really. It's not really Nintendo. It's got a lot more Sony heritage than Nintendo. I mean, the last exclusive Metal Gear game was Metal Gear Solid 4. You know, so that was on the PS3.
Which is now coming to PC finally, which is awesome.
Dude, it's got, what was that, the longest cutscene in any game?
72 hours?
72 hours?
Worth of cutscenes?
Or was that in the whole game? Or was that, I thought it was like, it had the longest cutscene of like 92 minutes or something.
Ah, minutes. 72 minutes. Yes.
Dude, 72 hours of cutscenes. Also, they're unskippable in that game. Imagine that. That's also a reason I'm like, I could never play that game. I just couldn't do it.
To be fair, when I was playing it years ago, I was hooked. Like, I actually cared about what was getting discussed, and I didn't. Being that the only games that I've played demo of Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear Rising, and 4. This is before I played 5 and just couldn't vibe with it. They use all this terminology. It's like big boss, Solid Snake. It's like, I don't understand what they're saying, but fuck, man, I don't understand what he's saying, but I enjoy his passion.
Yeah, there's I hear that they did a lot of just what do they call exposition dumping as well. Like they were just like, okay, yeah, so here's a big lore dump for you, and just give you a shitload of lore because he was like, this is the last game, which they did a fifth one. But yeah, he just lore dumped all the fucking time in it, and there were always long cutscenes. But I'd rather if a game can be more clever through environmental storytelling or get some kind of story while I'm playing as well, like over a little fucking walkie-talkie or something in moments where I'm not obviously right behind enemies where it wouldn't really make sense. I don't need a 72-minute cutscene.
Something I found real funny was so things will affect you, like the heat, which will cause you to get stressed, which your aiming gets impaired, stuff like that. To counteract that, you smoke ciggies, and the ciggies will lower your stress, but it'll drain your health. And during like loading screens, they will just have like Solid Snake just like smoking clouds. This is like, cigarettes are not good for your health.
But he looks so cool with a ciggy mouth, bro. It's unreal how cool he looks.
That's how they get you. So I remember, when I was a smoker, I remember someone was just like, is it alright if I pass on your details so someone can do a cigarette survey on you? I was like, yeah, of course. And then I was just like, do you want to quit? Yes. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, do you think smoking makes you look cool? Yes.
Have you seen that when there's that ad campaign where they're like, put it, photoshopping like lit cigarettes into like animals' mouths, and it's like, still think it looks cool? And you're like, yes, bro, that dog looks cool as fuck. I'm also someone who's like never really smoked. I've dabbled a couple, punched a couple darts here and there. Not for me, doesn't interest me. I understand it just looks cool. But
just to put it out there, you probably shouldn't smoke. Don't smoke. If you're an adult, they're too expensive. Do what you want.
And if you're not an adult and your parents smoke, honestly, just go rax a couple ciggies here and there, mate. It's fine.
They will notice.
And you will get a hiding. You'll look real cool for a moment. Don't smoke.
Don't.
I like to think of this whole thing about, because Alex works for like a science company, and one of the women there, one of her co-workers, his wife, worked for another science company that I think she was an accountant or something for them. And she said like a lot of these, so this is about vaping. So a lot of these scientists and these engineers and stuff, they don't think about the downsides of any of the products that they make. They don't think anything. They just think, I'm making this thing that's going to be really cool and help people. They never think about what the downside could be. And apparently the guy who had developed vapes, he was like, I'm going to help so many people quit smoking. This is going to be great. And I like to think he had his Oppenheimer moment when he saw a kid just fucking huffing a vape, with the fat clouds, that I am become death, destroyer of worlds, That's what I imagine happened, because apparently when he did see that, he was like, oh fuck, I've gotten so many kids into smoking. Like, unknowingly, he just thought he was making something to help people to quit smoking. It's going to be the lesser of two evils. What was happening? Smoking was massively on the decline, and then vaping came out, and I think more people vape now than people ever smoked.
I genuinely
believe that.
Also, difference is, you don't look cool vaping.
No,
not
at all. You start seeing fucking nanas doing it and stuff. You're like, bro, this ain't that cool.
Stick to your lane.
The only people that look cool are older people who are vaping. Well, not even vaping, even smoking. Like, if you're like an old Japanese man, like a grizzled Japanese man, that's cool.
Yeah, that's badass. Also, we don't endorse either.
Well, unless you want to sponsor us, then I'll shell out. I'll shell for it all day. I've got no morals. I'd rather not. I'd rather not take something like that.
This podcast is brought to you by that non-descriptive vape dairy down the corner.
The one with the V energy stamps all over it.
Yeah.
You know the one.
You know the one. Where the milk is expensive, but the vapes aren't.
That's the fucking slogan.
Yeah.
Our milk's expensive, but our vapes are priced just right. So, the DICE Awards have happened. Some people call these the Real Game Awards, and I get that. It's more industry awards. I'm still a fan of Jeff Keighley. So, I like the spectacle of the Game Awards. I like that trailers are an exciting thing for video games as well. So I'm a big fan of the normal Game Awards. However, I'm just gonna skim over the winners of this. They have a heap of categories as well, which is cool. Outstanding achievement in animation went to South of Midnight, which I agree. Stop motion looked great. Outstanding achievement in art direction was Clear Obscure Expedition 33. Yeah, I can get behind that. Outstanding achievement in character, Ghost of Yotei Atsu. A lot of people said she was a really good character. Outstanding achievement in original music composition goes to Yote. Oh, bro, it's E33. Come on, what are we doing here? As much as the music, I'm sure, is great in that. It was great in Ghost of Tsushima. Outstanding achievement in audio design, Death Stranding 2, On the Beach. Outstanding achievement in story, Clear Obscure Expedition 33. Outstanding technical achievement, Death Stranding 2, On the Beach. A lot of people think it's the best looking game released to date, so shout out to them. Action Game of the Year went to Hades 2. Adventure Game of the Year went to Ghost of Yote. Family Game of the Year went to Lego Party, which I have heard is fun. Fighting Game of the Year went to Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection.
I imagine it was slim pickings for fighting games.
I think it was last year. Yeah.
It's just I think it's cheap to have compilations and collections in.
The cool thing about that, though, is the value of the Legacy Collection is really exceptional. It's like, we've got a bunch of different ports of the same games on there as well. Like you know, it's like, we've got this, we've got that. You're like, oh, that's kind of cool. We've got the Game Boy Advance version of this. I'm like, that's kind of fucking cool. So I think they did a really good job with it, but I don't know, man. I think, yeah, I agree. Collections, compilations, little questionable, but maybe there was just nothing else comparable.
Yeah.
Racing Game of the Year, Mario Kart World. I thought it was a little mid, but probably the better racing game last year. Role-playing Game of the Year, E33. Sports Game of the Year, Rematch. So, that's cool.
The Sifu team, right?
Yeah. Yeah, apparently it was really good. I like it. People they kind of took Rocket League's formula and then made it into football, which is hilarious because Rocket League is soccer and cars, or football and cars, you know? So kind of funny that they kind of borrowed a little from Rocket League in a way.
Deconstructed Rocket League.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool.
Boneless
Strategy
Rocket League.
Simulation. Sorry, go on again. I missed
Boneless Rocket League.
Boneless Rocket League. With the people with bones. I don't know if you're aware.
I just like the idea of just like when the people are kicking the ball around, they're like,
and the leg is just and just flapping around. Dude, it's like, you know, did you ever see that UFC moment? You might have seen a clip of it because it was years ago where Anderson Silva breaks his leg.
Yes.
That guy?
Yes.
Oh, dude, that's brutal. We got strategy / simulation game of the year, The Alters. I heard that was awesome. Seems like a script game as well. Online game of the year, Arc Raiders, makes sense. Immersive reality technical achievement, Hotel Infinity. I'm not even familiar with it. Immersive reality game of the year, Ghost Town. Outstanding achievement for an independent game, Blueprints. Look at that, a real independent game. Mobile game of the year, Persona 5: The Phantom X. Are you familiar with this?
I don't mobile game.
But it's Persona 5, The Phantom X.
Or
the Phantoms.
Or the Phantom Cross. Actually, no, the Phantom makes sense. No, like...
Oh, it is just Phantom X, sorry.
I don't know, man. Like, I never finished Persona 5. I got my... I got my my PS4 stolen, and I was like, I have nothing to play this on. Shit. And then I tried playing it on Steam with the Royal Edition, and I was just like, I'm just not in the mood for you right now.
I don't think I know. Did I know that your PS4 got stolen? I don't know if I knew this.
Yeah, I was like, when I was living in like Riccarton, I come home and I was just like, I'm going to go jump on the computer. And I turn around and I was just like, why is my table where my TV's resting on pushed forward? And I was like, shit. Someone stole my PS4 and someone stole my hair straighteners. Nobody touched my my computer. Great. And so get the boys together. It's like, guys, I think we've been robbed. and one of them was just like, shit. Because, one of the other guys had his PS4 stolen as well. And it was just like, well, this fucking sucks. And one of the other mates was just like, oh, we should probably write a list for the police. It's like, yeah, probably. It's just like, oh, I had like a baggie on me. Should I like write that down? We're like, no, you shouldn't.
Oh no. So was that mostly what was gone? Game consoles and...
Yeah, basically the PS4s, some hair straighteners and a baggie were stolen. So it could have come off a lot worse.
It almost feels like someone who had insider knowledge as well, though.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Something about that. And especially the place didn't get like trashed or anything, like by the sounds of things.
No.
Rummaging through drawers and stuff like that. That feels like someone who had been there before and just went, I'm just going to grab the consoles because a couple of easy things there. Hair straighteners, oh, it's right there. Sweet as. Fucking see you later. We're going to get to the bottom of this by the end of this episode 7.
It was me.
We're going to be like, and the criminal who stole it is, and then I turn around and it's just a guy tied up in a chair that I've just beaten. You're like, oh, I don't know who this is.
Drum roll. It's like, I didn't see the person who stole my shit.
Oh. I'm gonna deal with you later.
You've probably done something.
Yeah, you've probably committed some crimes. Outstanding achievement in game design, Blueprints. So good choice. Outstanding achievement in game direction, E33, and game of the year, Clear Obscure Expedition 33. So
still clearing.
Yeah, pretty good list. We had in my stream there's a French guy. Shout out Ariel, super good dude. He's now 20. Used to view my stream when he was just a boy. He's French and hasn't played E33. I'm like, come on, man, what are we doing here? What are we doing? You got to play it.
You're letting your people down.
Come on, your people have been redeemed by this. Well, what are we doing? He's a nice guy. I'd always say it's like, you know what? You've changed my mind on the French. He's just a super nice dude. He's a young man. He's 20 years young old. Man. That's wild to me. That's so wild to me. So he just pops up every now and again. We've got these like mythical figures. My stream where there's people who are like, "Oh, bro, I used to watch you 5 years ago." I'm like, "Oh shit, he's back." Oh yeah, good dudes. But yeah, Dice Awards. I think they got a lot of that right. I would say only other than the music, and I'm sure Ghost of Yotei music's great, but E33 soundtrack's so fucking good. I haven't heard a single person be like, bro, I'm bumping the Ghost of Yotei soundtrack. Everyone I know played E33 has put on a couple songs here and there, being like, fuck, man, this is good shit.
Good shit.
Maybe I'll pick up the vinyl. So, Steam Decks are out of stock due to the RAM shortage. It's causing delays for the Steam machine. Man, it's just it seemed like it was actually... So on one hand, timing was really good from Valve because it's when Microsoft and Xbox are weak in the gaming space, that here's a spot that you could maybe capitalize on. Now the RAM prices are expensive, which also Microsoft is not the only people involved, but one of the reasons why the RAM is expensive. So, I mean, they're kind of like, we get the last laugh. So, they're not producing Steam Decks right now. I imagine they have the rest of it and they're just waiting on RAM. And the Steam machines are just sitting there. And I guess they've got to make a decision. Are we just going to have to put these out at a higher price than we wanted to? Which might just completely kill Steam machines out the gate.
Yeah, dead on arrival.
Yeah. Or wait for enough time to pass and be like, cool, we'll put them out, but then the rest of the hardware is also aged and
dated.
You know, and what if there becomes more and more and more demand for RAM, and then the price gets even more out of control? It's a tough decision. I don't know what the right decision is. Fuck, I'm glad I am not a executive at Valve to have to make that decision, because the right decision might be trickle a few of them out at a high price and be like, we'll put some cheaper ones out later, we swear. I don't know. But
test the waters with them.
Yeah. and maybe even do. Oh, we're going to do some more premium Steam Decks. What's new about them? Nothing. It's more expensive RAM.
It comes with a golden apology from Gaben on the back.
Yeah, he signed it himself.
It just says Soz Gabe.
The rumors were they were going to get rid of I think the 256 gig is the lowest storage model they make, and it sounds like they might be getting rid of that, and then it'll be 512 and the 1 terabyte, just because they're like, we can't justify selling this anymore because it's going to be too expensive with the RAM. So we'll see, but not great news on that front for them. All right, so Crimson Desert, they have said will not have a microtransaction shop. I also noticed it said won't have a microtransaction shop. Almost seems like wording like they might have microtransactions somewhere. I don't think they do, but we're not going to have a specific in-game shop for it. So the wording I thought was interesting, but they might not at all. So we'll see when it comes out. Blake Desert Online had a lot of paywalls from what one of our friends said, and a lot of money grubbing. So this is great news. Single player game. It should not have fucking microtransactions in it anyway. I think this looks like a Game of the Year contender from what we've seen so far. Maybe it doesn't deliver. Maybe it's too good to be true. I'm definitely interested. I'm definitely like quite interested. Not like holy shit. This is I'm gonna, cream my pants. I'm gonna
come.
What was that game called?
Cream pie beside my husband.
Yeah, but it looks really, really good, and obviously GTA is coming out, and it's probably going to be Game of the Year. But I think this has got a real chance at how good this looks if it lives up to the promises, which is looking like it will. They're doing a lot of like long videos on it as well on their YouTube, so yeah, good shit, man, good shit. No microtransaction store is a good place to start there. Wildlight Entertainment. Turns out they were funded by Tencent. So this is the guys that made... why have I forgotten the name already? That's not a good sign. What was the game everyone hated on at the Game Awards, Stephen? You got a better memory than me. That I played and enjoyed. Highguard. Fuck, I nearly forgot the name already, which is not a good sign. So what I don't like about this, I'm fine with the Tencent owning studios and funding studios and stuff. I don't really have a problem with that. I have a problem with them hiding it. I have a problem, like, they've done this before as well. So they've tried to hide it under the Level Infinite brand that they own. So a couple of years ago at the Game Awards, their Level Infinite was on all these games. People were like, oh, who's this Level Infinite publisher? And it's a sub-brand of Tencent. You're like, oh, you can't, because you have gross business practices, you were trying to now hide it because you guys fucking suck. I don't like that at all. They also have a seat on the board of the Game Awards, so I don't think that this swayed it being the last slot, that they have a seat, but I think that was probably how Jeff ended up, because they're on the board. So I think that's how he got in touch with Wildlight, I imagine. So, yeah. It's some people are thinking there's been some shady backroom deals for them to get that number one spot. I think that Jeff genuinely just really liked it. I don't think he would have a reason to lie about that. And I enjoyed what I played of it as well. It wasn't actually a bad game, but...
Pyrocynical!
It is going to die. Yeah, I got to play with my boy, my favourite, Pyrocynical. Who I watched that 8-hour Fear and Hunger video on. Not in one sitting. I watched it over a series of days. But it was actually super interesting.
Was it the regular or Termina?
First one. Yeah. So, just to give you an idea as well, Tencent owns all of Riot Games. They own 40% of Epic, which I didn't realize they owned that much. I thought they were 20%, but they've got, I think, majority share. Like, they own more Epic games than anyone else, essentially. They own 80% of Grinding Gear Games, who's the studio in New Zealand, who makes Path of Exile. And they own a 25% stake in Vantage Studios, who that is the Ubisoft has spun off and they're like, we've got these 5 creative houses. Vantage Studios is like their big one, like the premier one. So they own 25% in that particular studio. So Tencent own big stakes in a lot of these like Western game devs and studios and publishers and stuff anyway. Right? So I think just be upfront. Maybe less people would have even given it a go at all if Tencent's name was on it, but it's left a bad taste in my mouth now. I'm kind of like, fuck you guys.
Why do you feel the need to hide it?
Yeah. If Tencent had a great reputation, then you wouldn't need to hide it.
I was about to say, is it a issue of public perception, or is this like, or do you think that they're shady?
Yeah. I still probably would have given it a go, having the Tencent name on there up front, but now I'm like, I don't want to touch it anymore. I probably wasn't going to anyway at this point, so it doesn't really mean a lot, but I was like, ugh. So fuck you, Tencent. Dude, do you know about the thing with Tencent years ago? They were like wanting Riot Games to do a mobile version of League of Legends. So I'd make a mobile version. They're like, Riot's like, no, we're not going to make a mobile version. And they're like, okay. So they got one of the other studios or another studio in China just to make a blatant mobile ripoff of League of Legends under like a slightly different name. And then it made fucking absurd money. And then Riot Games years later were like, we're going to make a mobile version of League of Legends.
Thanks. So. I remember seeing a mobile game that did just look like a copy paste of LOL.
Let me see. Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
That got nominated at the Video Game Awards, right?
It did, yeah. Yeah. And I've heard it's actually pretty decent. Yeah, so Riot Games had sued them and they're both like Tencent. I'm pretty sure. Is that the one that's Tencent? I got to do it because of my my fuck up earlier. Where now I got to make sure I check these things. I don't want to be misinformation. Oh, so this one's under ByteDance. So, but there's another one that's a So ByteDance was the previous TikTok owner before it was sold. By Moonton. But there was a previous ripoff of. There's a game that came out earlier than Mobile Legends Bang Bang. Also, that's a ridiculous name. I can't find it. It's one that came out years ago, but it ended up doing really, really well for a while. Honor of Kings? No, not that one. Anyway, regardless, there's been a heap of them, and Tencent did actually fund one of those that ended up being very successful. All right. So Fire Red and Leaf Green are getting releases on the Switch and Switch 2. So I saw there are a lot of people that were upset about this, and I think these people are fucking dumb. And you got to hear me out why. So the game's releasing for 20 USD or 33 New Zealand dollars, and it's got local battling and trading, but not online. And if you want to buy a cartridge of this game, you might spend fucking $200 to buy one. So why are you upset about them selling you this game for like $20 US? I don't understand. I really don't understand. Game Freak, the Pokemon Company, and Nintendo made so many fucking boneheaded money-grubbing decisions. And this one, they haven't hidden it behind their fucking paid subscription or anything like that. They've just said, you can just buy it. I think this is great. And it's about fucking time they did this.
People are people upset over not being able to trade online?
That's one factor. But this is just a port of the game. It's not. This isn't like a remake or a remaster or anything. It's just a straight port. But it's got integration with Pokemon Home, so you can send your Pokemon to Pokemon Home, and that, so you can trade it between other games and so on. So that's the one thing they have kind of added to it. But I think that's so ridiculous, man. We've been wanting this for years. We've been wanting these games to be accessible. If you've got to buy a Game Boy Advance and an original cartridge for this, you're going to be out of pocket like fucking $300+. Like, no, I'm going to spend $20 and buy it on my fucking Switch. That runs fine on the Switch 1 if you've already got one, which everyone does because they're like 140 million fucking units sold or something absurd. So, yeah, I think that's dumb that people are complaining about this. I gotta find out how many Switch ones have sold as well. I keep being a misinformation machine. Okay, all right, look, 155 million. I lowballed them, but an absurd amount. So, yes, I would love for them to do this with other Pokemon games as well. Bring a bunch of them. Bring a bunch of them forwards. I think do Emerald, do Black and White and Black and White 2. I think that'd be fucking awesome. So while we're on the subject of Nintendo, Duskbloods, the upcoming From Software game, has been listed on the Switch 2 store for the 27th of March. I don't think that's happening. They announced it. They're like, hey, it's coming out. It's coming out in 2026. And we've seen and heard nothing.
So you reckon it's just a placeholder date?
I think so. I think this is probably what they roughly planned. I don't think it's happening. If they do, great. I'm on board, but I was really expecting something from them at the Game Awards, and From Software weren't there at all. So hopefully we see it. Hopefully we see it this year. So the YouTuber Markiplier has made a movie based on the indie psychological horror game Iron Lung, where a man is trapped on a submarine in a blood ocean on a moon. If he completes his mission and returns with his findings, he will be set free. So this has it's grossed, last I checked, just under 50 million USD on a budget of 3 million USD. So it's a big success. It's $47 million profit, which is fucking huge. Small project, massive for the developer of the game as well, who was involved, and I think his brother, who's also a game developer. That's cool as fuck, man. Good shit.
Yeah, man. Reviews have been pretty good. I feel the ones that I've read, they've said that it is slow. It can be slow to a glacial pace, but fuck, Markiplier making bank.
Yeah. I've never really dabbled much Markiplier, but he seems like he's a good dude, so I'm happy to see as well, like, someone in this kind of space, this creator space, to go on to make a film like the like Raka YouTube guys. They've made 2 horror films, I think, that have done pretty well as well. So it's quite cool, man. How look, I don't think Markiplier is going to go on to be this next big director or anything, but horror is a genre that a lot of directors start out doing, because if you're actually good at like making films, you can do a lot with a very small budget with horror specifically. Like, so I think that it's actually a really good place to start. Maybe he wants to do other things. Sounds like, though, he just really loved the game and really wanted to make a film because he wanted more people to experience it. But yeah, that's cool as fuck. Something that's not cool as fuck. See that segue, mate? I'm professional. I know. It's taken me 30 episodes to get one segue, mate. I've done it. I'm no Linus Tech Tips. Sony is shutting down Bluepoint Games, and this one fucks me off, bro. This one fucks me off. Something wicked. Fuck you, Sony. You dog cunts. So they're a remaster and remake studio, best known for their Shadow Colossus remaster and Demon's Souls remake. They were making a God of War live service game that got cancelled, and that was the only game that Sony would apparently greenlight for them. And I was like, I don't know why Sony would make them do this instead of remakes. Like, everyone's been clamoring for a Bloodborne remake, but rumors are From Software and Sony can't come to an agreement on that. I think this was fucking terribly mismanaged by Sony. Like, why bother buying this remake studio and then get them off doing remakes? Like, one of the things they'd said was just that the remakes don't actually sell as many as they want and make enough money. But isn't this... I know, like, you're in business to make money, but at the same time, don't you need a studio that can just bring all your legacy stuff that you like forwards? Don't you need a studio to do that? You need a port house. You need a remake studio to just kind of keep all your older IP relevant as well. It's a handy thing to get these people to make, or at least remake an old game, and then your plans are to release a new iteration of the game. You want to do a new Resistance game. Okay, we're going to get the studio to remaster the first 3 Resistance games, put them out in a package, and then bam, the next year, or later that year, here's Resistance 4 or a Resistance reboot or something. And then you've got people who are super interested in these new remasters as well. Like, it's just... I just don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like, apparently the games that they had pitched to Sony were Bloodborne, Jak and Daxter, and Resistance, and they all got rejected. Every single one got rejected by Sony. They pitched the God of War live service game themselves, because they actually did do a bit of support work on God of War, so they were pretty familiar with it. But that was the only one that Sony greenlit. So maybe they shouldn't have pitched it. However, it is on Sony to be like, no, you're a remaster studio. Like, the fact that Sony... They made a heap of games for Sony well before they bought them. The only game that they had put out under the ownership of Sony was Demon's Souls remake, which some people are like, they fucked the art direction. Bro, there's like 3 little parts of the game that the art direction is fucked in, and I played a good chunk of the first the original Demon's Souls. I didn't finish it at the time. I played through all the remaster. I'm like, this is the best a From Software game has ever looked and felt. Like, yes, the art direction wasn't as good, but graphically looked amazing. It ran great, which is something that From Software's never fucking done. I love my favorite studio ever, my favorite studio of all time. Their games just don't run good. Their art direction's incredible, but graphically they're fine. Their games age pretty well because of good art direction, but Demon's Souls Remake's the best of From Software games ever looked, and felt. It felt amazing. So yeah, fucking stupid decision. Like, as well, like, the games that they worked on was God of War Collection, which got a 9.1. Echo and Shadow of the Colossus Collection got 9.2. That was on PS3. Metal Gear Solid HD Edition 8.9 on PS3. Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection 8.6 on PS4. Gravity Rush Remastered 8.0 PS4. Shadow of the Colossus, this is a full kind of remaster on PS4, 9.1. Demon's Souls Remake 9.2. Also, maybe one of the best looking games on PlayStation 5 still when it came out. I can't remember if it was on launch or very early. So everything they put out was like, the worst thing they put out was an 8.0 over this time period. Absolutely fucking boneheaded from PlayStation.
Buffoonery.
So, yeah. Absolute buffoonery. So they've got a quote from Herman Holst as well, who a lot of people are saying, shit can this man. He's also, I feel like a lot of people are saying he's not a tastemaker. He has no fucking idea. He has terrible taste. He was the one that was like really champion Concord behind the scenes that no one seemed to fucking want. But he made sure that they spent... Because Concord was rumored to be $400 million. $200 million by the previous publisher, and then $200 million by Sony. And it flopped within the first week. He said rising development costs slowed industry growth, changing player behavior, and broader economic headwinds are making it harder to build games sustainably. And while I do think there is a lot of truth to that, then don't get your fucking remake studio to make a live service game, you fucking idiot. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Their games aren't sustainable when you don't fucking release them, because to have a successful live service, it is difficult and it is expensive. That's how it is. You need studios that are going to be dedicated to doing that. I think they should have released the Last of Us Online But also, why are you making Naughty Dog, one of your premier fucking single-player studios, make a multiplayer game? Shouldn't they be doing single-player? Shouldn't your remake places doing remakes? I just don't understand, bro. These big businesses, these people that are paid millions of dollars to be in this position, can just make such fucking idiotic decisions.
Out of
time
touch
after
decisions.
Time. Yeah, super out of touch. That's what a lot of people think with Herman Hulst. They think he is just out of touch. But God.
So I guess that means no Jack trilogy coming to PC ever.
Probably not. Oh, okay. One studio might be able to do it. That Nixes, which is a porting studio.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance they might be able to do it, but who knows?
Or
CI Games,
Limited Run.
I don't know if they partner with Limited Run, and the problem with Limited Run is like, hey, we got a game coming out. Hey, pre-order it now. It's coming out in 3 years. I think Limited Run specialize better in like older games because they've got that really interesting engine that a heap of old games seem to run on, or they've been able to port it to it, which is quite cool. Even if they're kind of a shitty company, they're still cool. But yeah, CI Games, who are making Lords of the Fallen 2, have been reaching out to the devs and offering them jobs because they're massive fans of Demon Souls. And they're like, yes, please come work on our Souls-like. You guys made the Demon Souls remake. So...
it's kind of sick.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
And it's a studio of about 70 people, so... I think they were in Texas as well. So it wasn't like they were the most hideously expensive studio to run. Yeah, they were in Austin, Texas. So not the most hideously expensive studio, really, to run. 70 people in Texas. It's not like a, studio of 500 people in LA or something where it's way more expensive to run and it's obviously way bigger. Bro, even 50 people in LA is probably more expensive than in Texas. So, yeah, I just think it's sad, man. They all make these boneheaded decisions, man. Like Tango Gameworks, when Xbox like, we really want to break into Japan. We're shutting down our one Japanese studio. You're like, what are you guys fucking doing?
What do you like?
So yes, obviously I'm very passionate about this because I'm no longer getting the Bloodborne remake is dead. So goddamn. All right, hopefully we've got some good news next. We've got some good news. Surely coming up. The Xbox ROG Ally X is getting a $200 price hike. Ah, fuck! God damn it!
And what's the reason why?
The RAM shortage.
Oh!
Yeah, and that's in Australia and New Zealand. So that sucks, but that is just the economic realities of the world we live in right now. All right, this one's going to be good news. I got a good feeling, Stephen. I got a good feeling. Nacon is closing their doors. Ah, fuck! It's more bad news. Damn it. Surely there's a good news story in here. Surely there's one. Surely.
Did Nacon also make controllers?
Did they? I don't know. Rig Nacon Pro Compact Gaming Controller. Is that actually them? Yes. Yes, it is. Holy shit. That's so random. Being a game publisher and a controller manufacturer. It's not something that happens too often.
No.
So yeah, the first published game was Cannon Spike on the Dreamcast in 2002. And in recent years they published Hell Is Us, which did look good. Styx Blades of Greed, which a lot of people quite like the Styx games, and RoboCop Rogue City, which was, from my understanding, a pretty decent game.
And Cannon Spike was somewhat of a Street Fighter spin-off, starring, like, Cammy.
Which one, sir?
Cannon Spike.
Cannon Spike. Oh, was it? Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
Because that was a giveaway for me, because, yeah, one of Cammy's moves is called Cannon Spike.
Oh, shit. That's cool. Not that these spin-offs usually do that well, but Death by Degrees and all that.
Yeah.
Tekken spin-off with Nina Williams. But yeah, it's sad, man. Like, they were publishing like a lot of decent AA games. Hell Is Us looked pretty sick. RoboCop, from the people who've played it, were like, that game's pretty fun. So yeah, that's sad, man. So this one is actually, depending on which way you look at it, is not necessarily bad news. There's a big update coming to Starfield. Todd Howard has said this is not Starfield 2.0. A lot of people were calling it Starfield 2.0. A lot of fans were like, yeah, Starfield 2.0 is coming. And he said the next big update is for people who already love Starfield. And if you don't, I think this game is not going to change that. So, yeah. I'm glad he said something, because a lot of the time Bethesda just let their fans speculate, like that Fallout countdown with the show. People are like, oh my god, they're counting down to something that's going to be big. It's going to be big. What is it? You get a tour of Mr. House's apartment, or penthouse suite, So I'm glad Todd Howard said something and didn't just let the fans just get themselves all fucking worked up over nothing.
Yeah, but I kind of get the Fallout one. You get a big timer, like, you'd think it would be something significant at the end of the timer, and then saying to the fans was like, no, you got excited. It's just like, you kind of made a somewhat big deal by having that. You could have just dropped it, to be like, hey, here's this update, or here's this new thing we've added, but having a wee timer, one would think it's like, oh, expansion, oh, new game, oh, remaster.
Yeah.
So I reckon that was on them for being like, oh, you got too excited. It's just like, what do you expect?
Yeah. If you see people getting too excited and speculating with that shit, I think it's best to go, guys, it's not what you think it is. This isn't a game announcement. Just curb your expectations.
That was the word I was looking for. I was thinking, is it temper the word I'm looking for? But curb.
I think temper your expectations works as well. Yeah. So, yeah, I think this was good. Todd Howard said something, because it needed to be said. In other Bethesda news, the upcoming Elder Scrolls game was going to be built on Creation Engine 2, which is what they built for Starfield. But they've actually moved the development to Creation Engine 3. So they've put a lot more work into the engine again. They've made many custom tools similar to like the Unreal Engine to just help with development, to hopefully speed things up for them. Like Starfield was the first game they used it on, which I was quite excited. And Starfield seems a bit smoother than the other games, but it was like, this is the same kind of shit. So, cool. Hopefully the next Elder Scrolls is good, because I think Bethesda need a banger, because it's been out of bangers for a while. Speaking of game engines, Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 is staying on Unreal Engine 4 and not moving to Unreal Engine 5. So they built many custom tools for the engine, and the tools can't be brought forward to Unreal Engine 5, so they're just going to stick with 4. Which I think is good, because 4 actually runs better than 5. There's been a few games that do run really well with Unreal Engine 5, but usually there's like that stutter, and there's just games just don't perform as well, and just kind of, yeah. So I think it's great. I think that the previous games actually looked really good as well. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Part 3 as well. I just hope there's just a little less busy work in it. I don't need to be doing, yeah. Don't give me the padding. Give me all killer, no filler, baby. Look, okay, a little filler, because I think you still need to have some mini games and
some downtime.
Yeah, and some like exploration with some of that stuff. But I don't need a whole fucking Ubisoft go get these towers bullshit. Go to these towers to reveal these parts of the map. I don't need that shit, man. It just doesn't interest me. I'd rather get to the story, get to the point, Let me spend more meaningful time with the characters. I think overall that's pretty cool.
This doesn't seem cool.
Maybe some more good news on the next story. Spoilers, it's not. The esports washing continues. The Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund now owns all of Evo. All of it. It's done. It was kind of changing hands for a bit. Sony owned a big chunk of it and stuff, but yep. Oops, all Saudi. So this is going to be the way for a lot of these esports going forwards. Because there's no money or very little money to be made in this space, right? And they don't give a fuck. They want to esports wash. They want you to be comfortable with them committing atrocities in their own country. That's what they want. They want you to be okay with that. So, yeah. And you're gonna get these people that like Sonic Fox. When Sonic Fox made their big stand and was like, nah, I'm saying too bad, I'm going to this event. They're gonna hate that. That's what they want you to do. They want you to go to their event. They're like, look, we've got a gay non-binary furry at our event. Look at us. Look at us, eh? Aren't we progressive and great?
Yeah.
And really, they're like, any other day would drop this cunt off a building, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's what they want you to think, that look at them. They're allowing us to, you know, they've changed. They haven't. It's purely for their reputation, so you become comfortable with it. That's all it is. If you're someone who's like, hey man, I'm just not bothered, I'm like, cool man, you do you, genuinely. Like, I'm all for people doing whatever they want to do, but I'm like, oh man, that really sucks. I'm not gonna shit on the people who attend because it's Evo. I get what you got to do. It's their livelihood and so on. But if you make a stand, I respect it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what you got to do. I mean, they own a heap of. I think they own ESL, who do the biggest like Counter-Strike tournaments, things like that as well. There was their big esports. There was the esports World Cup that they backed. That a lot of these League of Legends teams and stuff like, we're all about being progressive, and they're like, yeah, by the way, we're going to Saudi Arabia. Like Team Liquid, who has one of the owners and like the co-CEO is gay, and he's like, yeah, we'll go to Saudi Arabia. It's like, what do you stand for, bro? What are you doing? So, you know, the fighting game community is
fractured.
Well, not even fractured, because they kicked everyone out with opinions that they don't like. But now they got to be like, oh, how do we say no to this? I think a lot of them are going to cave and go, and then they're gonna have a lot of infighting.
Yeah, I mean, like you go onto event hubs and stuff, and usually under a City of the Wolves news, there are a lot of people that are like, this is like cool, or even for like Evo, it's like cool. Just remember, Saudi government, and a lot of people are like, there's a couple of comments that's like, yeah, no, that's fucked. I don't stand for it. But then there's also a lot of people who are just like, who cares?
A lot of people like the product.
Yeah.
I've said that you're probably not going to see me buying an SNK game. You know, I really like Metal Slug, but I'm just like, I'm just not going to do it. But I've said, if From Software got bought out tomorrow by the Saudis, I'd be like, you fucking got me, didn't you? You fucking got me, you dogs. I would still be buying From Software games. So I don't judge people who will still buy SNK games. Steven. I don't judge. I'm just not like that.
To be fair, I was an SNK fan before.
Prior.
Yeah, prior to the acquisition.
100%. And that's how they get you, and that's how they, you know. But you're someone who's like aware. You're like, look, I would love for someone else to own this, but I want to play King of Fighters.
Yeah.
You know, you've said, you know, you're like, I understand, but you ain't stopping me from playing. Cough. So anyway, that's where that's at. So Discord's age verification vendor Persona just got hacked, but no personal information was leaked. They're also the verification vendor for OpenAI. The system that they've got does far more than age and identity verification. So it's like potentially screening against watch lists, adverse media, and more. It also contains inbuilt modules for interfacing with government compliance infrastructure. So, little sus. So yeah, it said OpenAI plus US government plus Persona had been running identity surveillance now since 2023. I don't like that at all, bro. I don't. This is the stuff that came from the leak because it was front end stuff, so it wasn't back end. Everyone's user data was encrypted, but them finding out that the kind of information they're tracking, it's like, oh, that's gross. And I understand Discord doing this and using this in a way that to try to protect younger people, because there's a lot of stories of people getting groomed on Discord and things like that, and I think that them doing this is what they're trying to do. But it feels like Persona feels like it massively overreaches. It feels gross. And we've had friends say, there's no fucking way I'm going to send them a photo of my ID so I can use voice chat, bro. It's just not happening.
No.
So
I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but there was a similar thing with Roblox. Like, a couple of my mates jumped on it as a meme, and it's just like, oh yeah, to use voice chat, you need to send some ID. And I was like, fuck no.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, you don't want to do that shit, man. It just feels like an overreach. It's just, no thank you. And I know that some people are like, well, if you've got nothing to hide, it's not a problem. You're like,
it's the principle.
Yeah, it's just a purely like principled argument.
Yeah.
It's been like, not doing that.
It's like the government version of like a clingy girlfriend being like, let me go through your phone, and you're like, no. And it's like, then you got something to hide. It's like, no, I just don't like anyone going through my phone, actually.
I'm the same. It's like, I've got nothing to hide, but it's like, you might see some vile things I've said in the group chat with the boys.
It's also a thing of like let me see your phone. No, you got something to hide. It's like, I don't, but I don't have to show you this. It's mine.
My personal device.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. The first thing you see is a racist meme. Of course. Give me my phone back. Give me my phone back. Now.
All the boys of the group chat knew I was being ironic.
Yeah, and it's got a picture of Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 on it.
Oh my god. So when I was sending you and Hamish those memes, there was someone that had been caught being inappropriate with a minor, and all these ones were like Dragon Ball Z characters being like, so you like little boys and girls, don't you, N-word, and stuff like that. I was like, why are so many of these Dragon Ball Z memes? And I just was saving all of them, sending them to the boys, because I was like, bro, this is crazy. Every single fucking like comment on this thing was like a different Dragon Ball Z meme of like,
and they
of
were
that.
The images were, I'm pretty sure, were all from Dragon Ball Legends.
I think they were.
I loved it. Like, you ever get a reaction image? It's like, I can finally use this. It was of Trunks and Goten, and I think they're getting talking about like the fusion dance, and Trunks is looking at Goten like, and he was like, finally, one that doesn't have an N-word. Post that.
Yeah, thank God, thank God. It was just that there were like 30 different ones, all with like similar captions, all were saying N-word with the soft A for the record. But with just a different Dragon Ball Z character about shaming this guy for being a fucking freak.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, why are they all Dragon Ball Z memes? Why are they always like, as well, like just different forms of like mostly Goku and Vegeta and different fusions and, you know, Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan 3, just different ones or different angles, different pitches, like of it. Oh, no. It was funny. It was just wild shit. So, games we're playing, and this was true until yesterday, and it was Mugenics and only Mugenics was what I was playing. I don't think I've had a time recently when I've come to the table really with one game, and this is what all I played over the last 3 weeks, really now as well, since it came out. Must have been 3 weeks. At least 2. But holy shit, this game is just fucking outstanding. I know I gushed about it last time as well. I still haven't gotten completely past Act 2. I've definitely won a couple runs on Act 2, but I've got to unlock more and beat more bosses. But I begin side quests, and it's like, hey, get through this area with this debuff. And you're like, okay. Like, one of them I failed completely. It's like, okay, at the start of the round, the side quest is you have a gun. It's like, kill all of your other allies, and you're like, bang, 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 bang. You kill them, or you're, oh, fuck. And then you've got to try to solo win, and then, of course, I end up losing that run. Was kind of funny. So, yes, I know I've already talked in depth about Mugenics, but there is one thing. So this is going to sound really bad, but the game it's in the name, Mugenics, eugenics. So I can now tell if my cats are gay or not. But because I'm trying to breed a super army of cats, if they're gay, they're getting in the bin. It's just like you aren't going to produce me a super soldier, you're going in the bin. If you've got... So the idea is you want to get these positive deformities to breed them, pass them down, these mutations, right? You want these mutations to pass down to your next cats. If it's like, hey, you've got this mutation that gives them damage resistance, or this one that gives them more movement or whatever, more damage. But it might be like, some of them might be you deal less, you have less strength, so it will affect the melee characters, but you have more mana regen. So you're like, cool, I want this to carry down so I can have more mages or more range characters and that kind of thing to have this. But if they got that pride flag, bro, sorry mate, you're in the bin.
Nothing personal.
These are the rules. You can't give me an offspring. You can't give me an heir to the throne. You're in the bin. That is just, unfortunately, where I'm in the game. I was reading something, apparently the non-binary and the gay cats can breed. So that's something I need to test out, make sure it's true. Maybe I've been a whole lot, but I was like, it doesn't really make, I don't know, does that make sense? But that might be a mechanic, so I want to test that out. So I might not be binning them for much longer. But yeah, I felt kind of bad. I was like, this feels like a hate crime. But I'm just trying to min-max the game.
You're like grabbing one by the scruff. It's like, it's nothing personal, but it is for the greater cause.
Yeah, the greater good. In the bin. Get down. Yeah. Get out of here. So, yes, I'm still loving Mugenics. Definitely my current game of the year. I know it's early days, so... It's not like when I played Expedition 33, I was like, bro, I don't think anything's going to beat this. Mugenics, I still think could be beaten in my mind. If Duskbloods comes out and it is exactly what I want, then it could do it. I think that Crimson Desert has a chance as well. I think Mugenics is still going to be more my kind of game. I'm just a big Edmund McMillan fanboy. But, yeah, it's just the front runner. We'll see how things go. The next game, which we played last night, and Steven's played a bit more of it than me in general, Yap Yap. So, this game, I said to the boys last night, I was like, they're starting to understand what makes friend slop good, right? Lethal Company was a great template. I really liked Lethal Company. We had a great time playing it. We got some good hours in Lethal Company, don't we? Like, if I have a look, how much time have I got? I got 40 hours in Lethal Company, you know? A great time. Man, that hasn't had a... Oh, when was that last big update? Oh, it was October. That's not too bad. It's 73. Yeah, I had a great time playing it, but with each one of these games, they seem to understand a little more what makes them good. So, Peak was really good for like the team play element, especially, right? There's a lot of really good team play and a lot of really clever stuff with the items, good use of like the Breath of the Wild like stamina system for climbing. But yeah, the items were the real star of the show, I felt like, in Peak and the team play. Really, really cool. Really, really like Peak. Repo is essentially what if Lethal Company was a lot more polished in a lot of ways, and does a silly little thing with proximity voice chat. So does Peak and Lethal Company, but the proximity voice chat with your little android-like fellas,
Yeah.
and their mouths are flapping open. There's a lot of comedy to that. The text chat, them reading out in a little robot voice,
The
hilarious. Death Head, yeah. There's a lot of like comedy to it, and it's really, really good. So, what Yap Yap does, it takes a lot of that stuff, but in these other games, you've got to be like getting your loot, and in Repo, you have to keep the loot safe because it can all be destroyed. Yap Yap, the idea is like you just destroy shit, so you don't have to worry about being careful. But you start out, you pick a little basic wand off a tree, and you got 3 spells, and there's a really good thing about one of these spells as well. So the first one is Arrow. It was like a basic like wind spell to just break stuff and push people away, including your friends. Hey, Stephen.
Yeah.
You got Tempest, which makes a tornado, spins around and throws enemies up. These don't deal a lot of damage either. And then you've got Updog. And what I think is really good game design about Updog, because you look in this book and it shows you if you keep saying dog, so you go Updog and it throws you up in the air, and then you go dog, 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 and it goes bam, 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 and you keep getting higher. And I think that's a really, really good one to start you on, because it's like some of these spells, there's a little more to it. Stephen and I were fucking around with is it the Grotesque Wand?
The Grotesque Wand, yeah.
You got Fish Yuck. You've got Piss Yuck, so the Fish Yuck, anyway, you turn someone into a fish.
Their voice gets real high pitch.
Yeah, your voice gets high pitched, and then Stephen would just, and it was amazing. It came through hilariously. Oh, did I mention you have to say the spell? Fuck, I don't think I mentioned that. Okay, yes, that's the best part about it. Every time you cast a spell, you have to say it. So it uses the voice chat, and you go, Tempest, and it goes, or you go, 10 pisses, and it still uses Tempest. You go, Arrow, and it will go, you have to be saying it the whole time. So I'm trying to talk to people in Twitch chat, and I'm like, oh, dude, I haven't seen you in ages, bro. How are you going? Tempest, Arrow. So I was like, I don't know if this is the best or the worst viewing experience. But yes, Fish Yuck. Turn your homie into a fish for like 20-something seconds.
It's brutal. Ride the fish.
You ride the fish. You can turn enemies into it and then throw them off a cliff. You just throw them up and go, Arrow, and then, bam. Right? So, yeah. And then Piss Yuck. You send a piss out of your wand, and that's kind of gross, but you use a chew to make boogers, which slows enemies down, and you trap them in there, and then use Piss Yuck, and it expands the boogers, and they explode, and you deal damage. So, it's that. But every wand has a secret spell. So, what's the one for the Grotesque Wand, Stephen? The one you love so much?
It's like Oculus Piss Tempest.
And you just send piss out of all sides of your head. Yeah, so there's a fire one, so there's like Flame Tongue, and the idea is Flame Tongue's also clever because the name, you have to keep talking or singing or whatever, but yeah, most people go blah, 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 and that's Flame Tongue. I think that's a kind of clever little name for that. There's one you make like a little fire, like landmine.
Ignis Boom.
And yeah, that's it. And then you got one that you run real fast and leave a wee trail of fire behind you. So yeah, it's a fun wee game. So you go into these levels. The idea is you're destroying everything to get money, and there's a few enemies, so you want to find some slightly better wands because your basic one will just kind of blow them around but not deal a lot of damage. And you kill them, that gives you money as well. And you want to find these little frogs and bring them back to your base. We toss them in the basement. They spit out little rewards every now and again. That's real fun. And they're just cute little guys. And yeah, you'll fight some enemies for a little more money, and then you extract. So what I think's better about this is I like Repo a lot, but sometimes Repo, you having to be so careful with the loot. Be annoying. And this is like, okay, you just destroy this shit.
Yeah.
You just blow it up. Peak was great because you didn't really have to keep... There was a bonus thing to keep certain things safe, but it wasn't about that. It was just like, look, you just have to reach the top. You have to reach the peak. So that's really good, and you've got like a health and stamina bar and so on and to manage, which I think is really good in that type of game. And this is just, you got health and stamina, But you're just trying to get better wands and get more loot, break more things, so you can fuck up more monsters. Oh, there's a secret wand that is when you say the specific spell, it just is it's a wand that's a hammer and uses a big hammer spell. It just bonks.
Wham wham.
That was cool as fuck. I never got to use that, but that was cool.
That was the spell.
We were saying is like, yeah, wham wham.
Wham wham.
What it needs is two things. Needs more wands, I think, would be really, really good. And I think Wham Wham needs more than one spell. I think they should all have 3 and 1 hidden. Also, you can dual wield, so you can have technically 8 spells in your arsenal, which I think is really cool. And then you can have other ones in your inventory. You can change out to those for a different set of spells. But I think that more wands would be great. Just more variety of spells, obviously more wands. And just a little bit more level variety, even if it's just like different kind of biomes, you know, sometimes in a castle, maybe sometimes in like a bog or something, I think would be really, really good. Because at the moment it's like, you're in a castle. Go, okay.
And a castle. And a castle.
Yeah. Even if it was like 3 different types of levels, I think that would, you know, be massive for the game. I think it would be really, really good for a little variety. But yeah. We had a lot of fun playing that last night, streaming that on this channel and also twitch.tv rect_tech. So anyway, I've yapped enough. Unless you've got anything else to say about Yap, what have you been playing?
No, Yap was fun. Especially when there was one time where Lewis was like, no, I'm not going to cast... it was either you or DT. It's like, no, I'm not going to say fish yuck. You go to cast it on someone else, it's like fish yuck. And you're like, oh no! No, good fun.
Yeah, I think it was me. Yeah,
I'm down. I'm down to jam that again.
Same. We had a lot of times where we were just fucking with each other. Stephen, you know I'd never arrow you off that cliff. Ah! And you know what you're doing. You know you're being a menace, but you just got to do it. That's what a lot of friend slop's about as well. It's like you don't want to kill your friends in it, but you do want to mess with them at least a little bit, you know.
Oh, and the other thing is when you had to get up and do something. It's like nobody touched my body, so we knock your body over, and I'm just dragging it up the stairs of the main hub. And you're like, this isn't where I was.
I did that to you as well, or someone else. I pushed so far because I had another wand that had like a better like push spell than that than the basic one, and I was just like, oh man, I'm gonna push so fucking far. He was like, what the fuck? I'm halfway across this map. Feels good to be a menace.
So yeah, been playing Yap with the boys, but I've also been playing Roadside Research, another friend slop game. Basically, it's like a smaller scale supermarket simulator where you're running a gas station, but you're aliens. You're wearing these dumb bits of paper to cover your face. It's a lot better when there's like 3 to 4 people, because I remember when I jumped on and 3 other people were playing it. I was manning the fuel pump. Someone was manning the checkout / restocking. Someone else's sole job was to spin a sign that says we're open. Just fucking... But, yeah, it's funny because you'll be doing your duties, and then every character can goop, which is basically aliens just like excrete the slime. And if people see it, they start to freak out, and there's a chance that like there's like a awareness meter, and like a secret agents will come and visit you. So you got to quickly go to the bathrooms, grab this scrubbing brush, which is a shoe with like a sponge or a scrub attached to the bottom of it. And yeah, I will say one thing that happened that I was disgusted in. We closed the store, and this lady comes in, and I was like, oh yeah. She uses one bathroom, because there's like only 2 toilets right next to each other. Goes into one stall, stinks it up. And it's like, okay, cool, she's going to leave so I can clean that up. Then the dirty bitch goes into the next one, does the exact same thing. It's like, get out! Get out of my store! You smelly lady!
That is hilarious, though.
But nah, it's good fun. It's good fun. The only thing that is real annoying is when cars will come to the petrol pump, they'll sometimes like have little petrol leaks, and that will cause like a green cloud to show up and like flies to hang around. So you got to go scrub it. But then someone will just pull up, and then they're angry because it stinks, and I was just like, because I was going to, but you're parked over it. And also, if you go to scrub it and another car comes, you get killed. You get taken out. Conked, as they call it in the game.
Look, you don't want to get conked.
No.
That's for sure, mate.
Yeah.
That's good life advice.
Still a little bit rough around the edges, but they do have like the option of if something's buggy or your character gets stuck, you just go to the pause menu. It says unstuck, and it'll just like sort of reload your character.
It's good. That's a handy thing, eh? Like it's used to get it in the custom Warcraft 3 maps. You'd have to sometimes have like an unstuck, because you'd just get people with their little custom skins and stuff they develop for the game. Is just shit would be you'd get stuck in places you shouldn't be. I've been there, friend. I've been there, fella. I've been there, pal. I've been there, mate. Yeah, it does sound fun. I remember we saw the trailer. We're like, this could be good.
Yeah. And the other cool thing is
playing.
Huh?
Go.
The other cool thing is like you get alien points, which you can use to add things like cameras, then security cameras, and like trash bags, and like a rubbish bin. The cool thing is you put a rubbish bin in, and when it starts stinking, you just right click it, puts it in a black plastic bag, but then you chuck it in like this alien bin, which just scans it, and you get more alien points, which means you can unlock more things. Which is cool. It's cool.
We love alien points, don't we, folks?
And I've been playing Ball Pit as my I call it my bedtime game. When I want to unwind, maybe listen to something, it's just like I play Ball Pit.
Hell yeah, it is a good game for that. To be fair, Ball Pit as well seems like it would probably be great on a handheld. I should take it for a spin on the ROG Ally.
Yeah.
Because I was playing a bit of Mugenics on the ROG Ally, but I haven't been as much this week, because to be honest, when I've gone to bed, I've just been fucking tired.
That's totally fair.
Happens. Alright, I've got a Steam review. I turned my friend into a fish before leaving. It became permanent. I dragged him, this is what it says, dragged him around until we found a revive room. I put him in the center and he disappeared from the corporeal plane. He never came back. 10 out of 10. That is from Jade Beauty, and that is Yap Yap. But the yeah, I didn't realize they did that. It was like I dragged him. I dragged him around until we found the revive. I love the line of he disappeared from the corporeal plane. I love that. That's poetic. That's beautiful. What do you got for me, Stephen?
Mine, I was scrolling through and I was like, oh yeah, I hate it when you're looking at a review and a lot of people are either saying the same funny one or just rewording it. I thought this got a giggle from me. This is a review for Roadside Research by Tom Carr, and it's How Do Aliens Pay for Things with Starbucks. Stars from space!
Because they're aliens from space! What
do you sound like Tim Curry? The places where capitalism won't reach.
Space!
You could see him just trying not to laugh at that line.
Dude, that's so fucking good. That might be his best work.
No, Muppets Treasure Island.
Now we're talking. Now we're fucking talking, mate. Yeah, man. It was, yeah, it's good shit. So I'm gonna look into who it was I was thinking about with the Stadia stuff that wasn't Don Matrick, I'm gonna find this out at some point, and I will report back because I don't want to be slandering people. I need to find out. I need to find out who it was who was involved with Stadia that moved on and to a bunch of projects. I did see that. So Jade Raymond, who was the game director. She was the producer on Assassin's Creed. She was a game director on Fair Games, that PlayStation game that hasn't come out yet, and then she's left that. She was once the head of Stadia as well. So maybe it's her, but I don't think it was a woman that I was thinking of. Could have been, but I will find this out because I don't want to be out here slandering and putting out misinformation like the Microsoft new CEO left after 2 days. All right. I won't. Well, not Microsoft CEO, the Xbox CEO. No, I've done it again. No. He is also Indian, though, to be Satya Nadella. But, you know, him and the Xbox CEO are not the same person. Don't fall into the trap, all right?
Don't get it twisted.
Don't be one of these Twitter brainlets, all right? Do better.
Take that, Chuds.
Yeah. Oh, Chud's just got so owned. They're never coming back from this. All right. If somehow, by some absolute miracle, you enjoyed what you saw here today, please like, comment, subscribe. I want to interact with people. I want to read out your comment on the show. I want you to be the next big micro celebrity.
Just looking for a
and
friend.
I'm not saying that because you're small. But I mean, write in if you got any questions. Like, how did Stephen get so handsome? We'll answer that on the next one. It's genetics. All right. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.